Hello everyone, today I will be reviewing the new 2022 Wooden Railway James. Now for those who don't know, and I'm sure that's a lot of people, I am not a fan of the new Wooden Railway range. I think the models have awful faces and wheels and look jarring when put right next to the original Wooden Railway line. Up until this point, the only engine from this line that I had was Nia. So why do I have this? Well, it was actually a Christmas gift from one of my aunts, and she didn't know my thoughts on the range. I didn't tell her that to her face as to not upset her. Anyway, let's start the review. Looking at it up close, I see several issues. First of all, and this is something I noticed when I saw him in pictures, in order to fit an extra wheel, he is way too long. Putting him right next to my Wooden Railway Henry, they are the exact same length when James is supposed to be shorter than Henry. He is also slightly longer than Thomas when they are supposed to be the same length. Another issue with him is his boiler. It is way too small and way too thin. In the show, James always had a fat smoke box and boiler. Not that fat, but pretty fat. But this new Wooden Railway model portrays him with a small and thin boiler. As a result, when put on top of his chassis, he looks like a Take-A-Law model put on a Wooden Railway chassis. I know this is just a nitpick, but the handrail is done poorly. Not only does it not go all the way onto his smoke box, which none of the other Jameses did, so why am I complaining about this? But they also don't go along his firebox? Is that what you call it? And it looks so awkward. Other nitpicks include the face is unsettling, his whistle and coupling hooks are missing, and of course, I can't stand those wheels. Now, not everything about this model is bad. For one thing, I do appreciate how they actually bothered to do the lining around his thing, something that none of the original James models ever had, unless you count the lights and sounds James. And I also love the extra details such as the handrail near his cab and the firebox glow. Now onto the tender. First of all, when put behind James, there's this small gap between them which looks so jarring. None of the other models of James ever had this. And secondly, the wheels are so small that they create this large gap between them and the tender. And it's awkward. I am glad they brought back the 3D coal load and the small extra details they added, such as the handrail at the front. Overall, this model had a lot of cons but very few pros, and all that brings the model to a 2 out of 10. If you want a Wooden Railway model of James, just get the 2003 version. It is so much more accurate, and it actually feels like Thomas Wooden Railway. This does not look or feel like Thomas Wooden Railway to me. It feels like a cheap knockoff, and it looks so jarring when put right next to a original Wooden Railway item. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you had a Merry Christmas.